Shalom Yashwala, this is your brother Dawada, coming back at you with this here truth again. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakakadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders, a great millstone that taught us this truth and our will. And citation and much love for you, I can pushing this truth and sincerity over the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. So I wanted to jump into this here topic real quick, all right, which was inspired by, quite a different, really this one guy's claim and everything, which is sparking all these other stories and talking points and everything else like that. And throughout these talking points and stuff, there's a little bit of information that's coming out that I would say is, the truth that's being shrouded around, a bunch of propaganda, all right, which is going to set the stage in the minds of these people, all right, because, as the scriptures speak about, how's it worded? It's, let me just read it real fast. We could have read it there. Let me just read it here in Revelation real fast. Get to the point. All right, this is Revelation 1:7. It says, "Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him, and all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him, even so, amen." All right. And so, matter of fact, I could have probably read this other one. But, that was pretty much the point there. Let me grab this other one. I want to say it's like verse 31, maybe. Verse 30. Matthew 24 and verse 30 says, "And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn," all right, which we were just reading again, "and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory." Now, the average Christian think that this is just talking about, the clouds that you see in the sky, but this is really talking about the chariots, all right? This is why the people on the earth is going to mourn, all right? This is why, they which pierced him saw him, they mourned as well too. Right, they were afraid, and this is talking about them seeing these chariots. Now, as far as what the common people know, this information is just being revealed to the masses, but to the military and stuff like that, they've been seeing these things, man. They've been afraid of these things, but they weren't able to talk about these things. So, like let's just say out of 1,000 military men, right, you may have had one person out of that 1,000 see it, but at that point in time, they was told not to talk about it. So the other 999 of them, they're like, well, we ain't never heard nothing. We ain't never seen nothing. Of course, if anybody would know something, we would know something. But hey, you only got that one that was told not to say anything. But now more and more information is coming out. But even when you have these top guys that's into this here stuff, all right, they know that they can fight against it, man. Let's bring it down to a lower level, man. All right. Now you contrary to popular propaganda belief, right? You have, NATO and America, America's head of all NATO, all right, arming Ukraine, right? Look how long Ukraine is trying to fight with Russia. And Russia really, they recently started hitting them with some shit, but they wasn't really hitting them with no heavy shit, man. All right, now, think about this. The Russian ICBM missiles that they got, America's missile defense system can't stop that. Now, we talking about the old shit that Russia got, right? They old Satan 1 and Satan 2. All right, America's missile defense system can't stop them damn warheads from coming in. All right, it's just too many of them, and that's just at a normal speed, right? This hypersonic stuff, there ain't nobody on the face of the earth that can stop that shit. All right, now this is some shit the man didn't create, right? You know what I'm saying? And with their limited technology, and we think about it, that hyper speed shit, yeah, it's fast to us. That's not fast to the chariots, man. All right, like for instance. You see like shooting stars or whatever you would see, or meteorites and things like that. Some of that shit be moving fast as hell, man. All right, to where you wouldn't even be able to see it. And so, and that's not even being used in propulsion, with an engine and things like that, man. So, saying all that to say this: if you having issues on the ground with man-made military equipment, all right, what the hell you think you finna do with a chariot for real, for real? You see what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. You not that. Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Now, or another sense, try to catch a damn speeding bullet. But you're not going to catch no damn speeding bullet, right? Now, that shit is all still slower than what these chariots can enact in speed. There was a video some years back. I forgot whether it was in Iran, Iraq, or somewhere over there, right? Or it might have been in Lebanon, somewhere over there, right? There was a video of a chariot, and they had like what they call, I forgot what those, what are those big-ass guns called? They're century guns, I believe they call them. These big ass guns. They just be be dumping, right? When you look at like in the they put them on big ass cruise ships and everything else like that, or fighter ships. But when you see it, just be like a blur of just like a bunch of red dots, which is these big ass bullets that they shooting, right? So the whole screen is full of these big ass bullets that they just like, blasting off their goddamn cannon with. But you see a chariot in the middle of it, right? Now, again, they letting off like thousands of rounds. Like you can see them because they like the equivalent to like you having a tracer round, so you can see the damn rounds in the sky being shot off. All right, now the whole sky is full of these damn rounds. They're just trying to shoot this damn chariot. This chariot is going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and in and out of all these damn bullets, right? That's being shot at it. Now these bullets, again, like I said, try to catch a damn flying bullet, man. That shit moving fast. This shit was moving fast enough not to get hit by one of those bullets. Not only in that, you could see the shit speeding up and slowing down. And I'm like, God damn, this shit faster than that? And it didn't get hit not once. Now imagine you got like a Gatling gun or a minigun or some shit like that. And you letting off 10,000 rounds. And you got somebody just like, you just aiming at a nigga and shooting at him. And he ain't that far from where you at. And he just over here doing the Matrix on your ass. And not one bullet hit your ass. Like, come on, bro. You not fucking with that. So this idea of they shot down or they retrieved some crashed aircraft and pilots and shit, it's all propaganda, man. All right, this is all coming out as propaganda, man. So let me read a little bit of this article because they speak about it a little bit. There's a paragraph in this here article which sums up the gist of all these other articles, right? So it says Virgin Galactic shares shoot up after UFO claims. A whistleblower report alleges that the U.S. government has been concealing discoveries of alien spacecraft, and this goes back to the talking points of what your boy Bob Lazar and some of these other guys who say that they was reverse engineering spacecraft and everything else like that, and all these different things. And you got to ask yourself, all right, nigga, really? So now the so-called product, the so-called white man, this nigga now is shooting down chariots, now taking killing because we know what's inside the chariots, right? We know the angels is inside of it, right? So now the so-called white man is taking down the heavenly vehicles. All right, he done killed a couple angels and shit like that. Hey, this nigga chest would be on swole right about now if he could kill a damn angel, man. All right, like, come on, man. Because we know what the Lord finna do, come back, and they gonna wage war. They waging war against each other. So-called white men already started waging war by touching the apple of the Most High, and Yahweh Shah's coming to clean up the mess. So, but what you telling me is, the scripture do say the part of thy heart has deceived thee. You know what I'm saying? But, man, the so-called white man would be out here beating his chest in front of everybody right now. I wish a motherfucker would pull up in a UFO. We gonna blast his ass out the sky. Hey, first of all, let's just get back to reality, bro. They wouldn't be struggling with Russia right now if they were shooting down UFOs and shit like that, bro. They wouldn't be taking they wouldn't be taking no losses, no air defense. Nothing would be getting past their ass if that was the case, man. But that's not the story, man. Shit getting blown to hell and back over in Ukraine. All right, you see what the fuck going on in Israel and stuff. That shit's not always accurate. They missile defense system, and this is given it to them by America, man. All right, so you believe what you want to believe. All right. Oh, they got some angels. You know what I'm saying? Posted up. Well, they call them in these articles aliens. But let's just go on the alien tip. First of all, how come the aliens can pull up on you, but you can't pull up on the aliens? That was always my thing. It's like, well, wait a minute. Why would you want to fuck with something that's out there? Like, let's just say there is something out there, right? We could have seen some chariots before, but I'm saying this. Let's say if they aliens, right? If the aliens can pull up on you, but you can't even find out where the aliens is pulling up from, nigga, come on, man. Your reach ain't long enough, man. And you not finna take them down. They got some shit to be able to pull up on you, and you can't even find out where they coming from, and you telling me you shooting them down? Come on, man. It says Richard Branson, Virgin Galactic spaceflight venture, has seen its shares jump following whistleblowers claim that the U.S. is concealing crashed alien spacecraft and remains of extraterrestrial entities. And there's your bold-faced lie right there, right? Now, come on, man. Like I said, you really didn't shot down a chariot, man. You really didn't went up inside and took out an angel, right? Now, the chariots isn't the chariot is an offensive / defensive weapon. It could get down. Don't get it twisted. But the angels, you know what I'm saying? The angels can get down and get busy themselves. So, like, let's just say hypothetically again, you shot down one of these damn chariots, right? You got an angel that's in there. Now, let's think about it. Now, when the Lord flooded the damn earth in the beginning, now, it's not written, but I would venture to say there was just one angel that just caused it to rain. You know what I'm saying? Like one angel technically just destroyed the whole earth. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what you fucking with here at this here point in time, man. You got to get this concept through your mind. You know, we know that everybody been brainwashed by the so-called white man. He's so far superior to any and everything, but it's like, yo, but look at the reality of it. You know, again, go back to the Ukraine Russia war. Oh, America's such a big, great military. Them and NATO and Russia's just such. I'm gonna start putting their ass out now. Infographics. It's a channel that used to talk about, you know, war. What if this and what if that and so on and so forth. But since this situation in Ukraine and popped off, is every other video they got is why Russia's military is trash and why Ukraine is just so overpowering them. But that ain't the story. The story is coming is like, hey, they keep needing more money. If they was winning, they wouldn't need no more money. They wouldn't need no more arms. They wouldn't need no more tanks. They wouldn't need no planes. They wouldn't be begging for some shit for help. Like a motherfucker that's winning don't need no help. Don't need no backup. You know what I'm saying? The police got a situation handled. Like, again, let's bring it to a low level. The police got a car full of 3-4 people. Now, if he got them pulled over and he got the situation assessed, got them out the car, probably got some in some handcuffs and everything else like that. Another police rolled by. He like, how come you didn't radio on backup for calling on the radio for backup? Cause nigga, I had the situation under control. I ain't need no backup, right? That's a cop by the proof is in the pudding. He didn't need no backup because the other police rolled past his ass. He didn't need no backup. He had the situation under control. But now on the second scenario, you got a cop pulled over one person, right? Now the police is over here radioing backup, I need backup. Obviously, he don't have the situation under control. Even though you may roll by and the cop may be like, well, it was just one person. I thought you had the situation under control. Obviously not if you're calling for backup. So now let's apply this to the Russia-Ukrainian situation. You know, Russia's over here making deals with the BRICS, and China got joint drills with China and all these other folks, but none of them ain't helping them with this here war in Ukraine. In fact, China, right, and when it comes to the Ukraine situation, they so-called playing, basically everybody that's quote-unquote on Russia's side is playing it neutral. They like, well, we not putting sanctions on Russia, and we not finna step in to help Russia either at the same time. So saying all that to say this, Russia is making deals with these other nations, but they not, how do I say, involving themselves in this Ukrainian war. Whereas on the other side, Ukraine is over here getting resupplied back to back. So the proof is in the pudding, man. All right, you can have all this propaganda and stuff that people believe, but like when you really look at it, you have to wait. Like, all right, is Ukraine really winning over Russia? Why we got to keep sending them money? Why we got to send them tanks and this and that and all this stuff? So you think 14 tanks is going to change? You know how many tanks? Russia's just steadily building tanks. Y'all over here asking for a resupply. Russia is building missiles and shit like that. Y'all niggas is tripping. But anyway, going into the propaganda by looking at what you have going on, like, all right, again, the chariots. Well, look at what mankind had. Like, we got superior weapons comparably to mankind and what mankind got. But when it comes to, you know, the chariots and things like that, they ain't on no level like that, man. Especially not to be so-called killing a they use the term extraterrestrial, but an angel, man. You're not killing no angel and having them, boy. Just think about, again, let's bring it into reality. What happens in the military if there was some kind of conflict? Let's say we using Ukraine again. The reason why they ain't telling you that there's a bunch of NATO troops on the ground or American troops on the ground or they're not out there fighting like that, because if one of them get killed, then what you think is going to happen? The whole beehive finna come out, man. So just think about that. If a chariot get hit, right? Well, let's not talk about it in angelic situation. Let's just say if there was real aliens or some shit like that, and they're on reconnaissance missions and they coming over. Because like I said, you got to put it into some kind of context. Like this is the actual narrative, but it's the Lord. You know, the eyes of the Lord are you know, brighter than 10,000 suns. You know, roughly paraphrases, watching everybody, man. All right, which is the chariots. But let's just say that they aliens, right? They're on a reconnaissance mission to come look at the Earth. Now, and they come in, you know, to defend themselves. They got defensive and offensive weapons, and you shoot one of them down. You don't think that the niggas, like, they gonna be looking for them? Like, yo, we sent an ambassador out. He never returned. Like, we know where we sent him. Let's go over there and figure out what's going on, man. Oh, they got the ship down there. They got him down there, blah, blah, blah. What you think gonna happen, man? They come over there and wax that ass. What does America do? What is their policy about leaving a wounded or a dead soldier behind? They don't leave nobody behind. They go back and extract them. You go and you kill one of they servicemen. One attack on NATO is an attack on all. So they come out. But come on, man. This is that propaganda. We not ignorant to Satan's devices, man. It says, let's skip this stock situation here. Now, here we go. It says, according to an article originally published by the Brief News on Monday, based on testimony from former U.S. combat officer David Gersh, the U.S. government is in possession of intact and partially intact vehicles that are of exotic origin or non-human intelligence, whether extraterrestrial or known origin, with a unique atomic arrangement and radiological signatures. Now, this is something that will throw you off if you just read this on face value. Again, like I said, I've been doing a little research and listening into a lot of these, different newscasts, not in the mainstream media news, but some of these different news reporters reporting on these things. And, some of these folks are speaking about, well, when they mix truth in with lies. Yes, there are some actual, we're going to use their terms, extraterrestrial vehicles. All right. Like when they talk, not that they got, but that they talking about that they see when they do their reports, right? They were saying, I'll use almost like a number to give you like a percentage, right? They said that let's just say the number is 100, right? There's 100 cases, right? They said out of about 100 cases, let's say 25 of them are actual, quote unquote, what you would think of as extraterrestrial UFOs, right? Which we would say is the chariots. The other 75 of them are what there's a term for it, but basically it's man-made, right? They got these different terms and different words for it and stuff like that, but they say that the term UFO and UAP are intentionally broad, deceiving words because, again, they have things in the military that they create and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's say, for instance, before any of us knew about what damn drones were and people were seeing drones flying, like, well, we don't have a concept of no goddamn flying device that's small enough to fit in the palm of your hand. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just don't. We don't know what the fuck that is. We seen this thing come flying in, and it's a UFO. All right, but this is whether it's from a foreign military or something like that, man. All right, so they mix that in there to try to get people's minds thinking. It's like, oh, the majority of this stuff that y'all are seeing is just reverse engineer stuff, some futuristic stuff, so on and so forth. And the other stuff you just can't explain, where that's not the real reality of it. But they're giving you this here narrative to where, oh, well, it don't even matter. We shooting down UFOs and we shooting down these other anomalies and everything else like that. Again, going back to the little balloons and stuff, the majority of this stuff ain't even real, what you call alien UFOs and stuff. So the people's minds, after, the word went out about the Lord and his chariots, all right, after, the news started releasing some of this here information and everything else like that, man, all right, to now, oh, well, a lot of it is just, balloons or this stuff or that stuff, military equipment and everything. The majority of it is man-made, reverse engineered stuff and everything else like that, man. All right. But nevertheless, and the other half of it is, or the other piece of it, yeah, it's some UFOs, some extraterrestrial stuff. Yeah, we just shot down, we got a couple of these spacecrafts. We got a couple of these little aliens. We be trying to reverse engineer it all the time. Really? You really? Come on, man. All right. Hey, like I said, two things would be happening at the same time. The chariots would be pulling up, trying to, what I'm saying? It would be go time, man. You know what I'm saying? But then ultimately, because we, of course, there's a time and a place the Lord's will is going to take place. And we can read about that in 2 Ezra 13. All right. That's when it's going to take place, man. All right. But the other portion of that is the so-called white man would be walking around with his chest. That shit would be all on TV. Look, this the UFO we shot down. This is little alien motherfucker right here. Hey, we know where y'all coming from. That would be all on all the TV, man. There wouldn't even be no war with Russia. All they would have to do is put that shit on TV and be like, look, bro, this is what we shooting now. Y'all want to come over here with y'all hypersonic shit? Bring it, bro. We shooting this shit down. This shit faster than that shit anyway. So come on with it. But they're not doing that. They don't even want to go over there and start that war with Russia because, they're a nuclear power. What the fuck is a nuclear missile? A nuclear missile is going to fuck up a lot of shit. But, I mean, you have a chance to shoot that down. But there ain't no chance of you shooting down no hypersonic missile, man. You're not even going to see that shit coming. So you scared about fucking with them with that. But come on, man. That would be your so-called calling card to Russia. Like, don't fuck with us. We shooting down UFOs. But that's not the case here, right? So it says yeah, that's all I wanted to read. But they was going into this here, about these hold on, did we no. Let me reread this. I didn't read this. It says starting back to the top. According to the article originally published by the Debrief News outlet on Monday, based on a testimony from former U.S. combat officer David Gersh, the U.S. government is in possession of intact and partially intact vehicles that are of exotic origin, non-human intelligence, whether extraterrestrial or unknown origin. You see how they put that out there. All right. In reality, this is some shit that they just have that they're creating, right? It says with unique atomic arrangements and radiological signatures, officials are also claimed to have the bodies of the pilots of these aircraft. So see how they put that in the bodies of these pilots. Now they would have you think that, all right, so well, we talking about some shit that came from outer space. Okay, so if it's got some niggas inside of there, some bodies, they obviously is aliens. So we got the aliens. Really, really, come on, man. It says even even in the military, right? You got fighter pilots and everything else. Like, you're not learning how to fly no military plane or drive no kind of military vehicle at all without having some kind of combat skills. Not using the equipment you're gonna be occupying, but I'm saying hand-to-hand combat, using your weapon, your gun type shit. They still have to train like that. So if they not in their plane or in their tank, they still know how to fight. But yet and still, you don't hear or see none of this here stuff. But like I said, you ain't got to take my word for it. How come they ain't put this shit up on TV? Like, all right, whoever want to fuck with us, this is what you fucking with. We shooting this shit down, bring your shit. Because this is how America got everybody in subjection after World War II. All right, with the atomic bomb. All they had to do was drop that on Japan. Ain't nobody started fucking with them since. So how much more now? This is your new calling card. Just show up the chariots, man. Show up the aliens. Be posting up, take some selfies with them. Like, yeah, we shooting shit like this down. Whatever. If you want to, hey, you want to know how to get everybody to love Biden? Like, yeah, we shot this nigga down. I got a selfie with him, man. Everything will change overnight. Like, okay, we feel safe and protected up under this nigga, but that's not the story, man. This is all propaganda. Let me get in a precept and let me see. Thought it was what the hell did I just click on? This is 2 Corinthians 2:11. It says, least Satan should take it. So like, least Satan should get an advantage of us. We're not ignorant of his devices. I just laid out the whole game plan for you. Again, if I was them, like in control of the U.S. or whatever, and I had the same game plan that these people have, because they want world dominance. They want you to bow down to the image of the beast. They want you to follow after them. No questions asked. All they got to, and they want to put these other nations in subjection up under them. Simple. You said in the article you got some crash UFO or shot down UFO craft, and you got the pilots of these motherfuckers, right? If they from out of this here world, post that shit. Post the pictures. Take a selfie beside it. Now, granted, we know we got deep fake shit and everything else like that, so on and so forth. I ain't even going off of that. I'm just going off of this is just some shit that they didn't build, right? Man-made stuff that didn't crash. They ain't got it perfected and everything else. Because think about it, all these spacecraft, aircraft, all this stuff before you see it come out, right? They all have a test phases, like Elon Musk with his little rocket pods that come back down and everything else. They all have test phases before they come out and you see it out in the open and things like that. All right, Russia's hypersonic missile, they were testing those things before they came out and they knew what the hell it was, man. All right, but nevertheless, if they had all these things, all they would have to do is post it. Everybody will fall in line, but this is not the case. So we're not ignorant to this here device, man. But you got the mainstream media to walk or people that listen to this here stuff. Oh, they done shot down the UFO. They done found some shit with some bodies in there. They got some of this. They reverse engineer. You know, they got a UFO at Area 51. They got this and they got that and so on and so forth. Nah, bro. You know, and a lot of the, well, why don't they just come out and tell us this was this and that? Because, man, again, you know, you have the scenario going on in Ukraine and stuff right now. I keep hearing people say, well, they keep talking about this new counter offensive they about to strike. It's not smart to tell the enemy what you finna do next and how you finna move next and everything else like that. But like, yeah, why would you tell the enemy about what the hell you got going on next, right? Same reason they're not telling the enemy about what kind of shit that they developing and the capabilities that they got while it's in development, man. All right, they're not going to tell you, well, we working on this here kind of aircraft. It failed and it crashed, and we had to recover the aircraft that we was trying to, all these different things with, and the pilots died on there and everything. Or let's say Russia and them was working on some shit or another country, and it crashed over here. We recovered it, and we trying to reverse engineer it, and we got their pilots. That's probably what they saying, but people take it out of context. And, oh, they got UFOs and aliens. Nah, bro, we're not ignorant to that. Look, come on, man. Because like I said, you be posted up. Like Will Smith for Independence Day over there taking pictures with the damn alien. Like, oh, you want some? Come get some. Look what we did to your boy. We gonna do this shit to your ass next. Come on with it. Come get his ass. They be flexing. Come on, America be flexing like, hey, Look what they did to Bin Laden. Look what they did to what's his name? Muammar Gaddafi, Saddam Hussein. They was all flexing with this nigga, right? These niggas before they killed him, man. All right, and after they killed him, man. So how much more the biggest threat to humankind, man? All right. Well, really, Esau's the biggest threat to humankind, but from their perspective, right? We done read that in Revelation about coming in the clouds. Matter of fact, I done made this a little longer. I quoted this. We'll read this. Oh, matter of fact, let me grab this first because these people tripping. What is it? Revelation. Well, we could read this first, and then we'll read another chapter. Revelation 62. It says, "And I saw, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat upon him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him, and he went forth conquering and to conquer." Right, and so this is what let's go ahead and read it. Revelation 19 and 11. "And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True. And in righteousness he doth judge and make war. And his eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns, and he had a name written that no man knew but himself. And he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, and his name was called the Word of God. And the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses, clothed in fine linen, white and clean." So, hey, the armies of heaven is going to return with Yahushua, man. So, come on, man. This is this. And nowhere in the scriptures do we read about. Now, we'll read about when the Lord going to pull up and what the scenario going to be when the Lord pull up and everything else like that. But the Lord not pulling up because of, a chariot or two that got shot down and they got a couple angels in captivity. That's not the narrative of the story, man. The Lord coming because they do got angels in captivity. They got the Israelites in captivity. Us, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Mainly the elect is who the Lord is coming back for. Right? That's why the Lord coming back. Not because of the fact of they just shot down some UFOs and stuff like that and then got some aliens bodies hostage and they about to figure out how to reverse engineer their DNA. And that's not written in the scriptures, man. All right. Esau, that's why, hey, this is why you got to learn what the prophecy say, the will of the Lord, man. Because other than that, you can fall prey to the Satan's devices, man. All right. Verse 15, "And out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, and with it he should smite the nations, and he shall rule them with the rod of iron, and he tread the winepress with the fierceness of the wrath of the Almighty God." So this is what the Lord is about to be doing to them. Come on, man. Matter of fact, I'm gonna just get one more point real quick, and we'll close out. So you can read this. This is the same thing that we're reading here, but I'm gonna come back to that verse. Let me we're gonna read verse 31. Maybe we'll get back to it somewhere else. Let me just read this. This is verse 34. All right, here it is, verse 33. Let me start at verse 33. Well, let me start at verse 32. All right, 2 Corinthians 13 and 32. "And the time shall be when these things shall come to pass, and the signs shall happen which I showed thee before. And then shall my son be declared, whom thou sawest as a man ascending." So when you read 2 Corinthians 13, this is the same thing you're reading in Revelation. What was that? Revelation 19:11, Revelation 6. Right, it's the same thing. Verse 33. "And when all the people hear his voice, every man shall in their own land leave the battle they have one against another." This is the time frame, right? When are they going to be battling one against another? You're going to hear wars and rumors of wars, nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom. You're going to have World War III going on, man. Everybody going to be fighting one another. This is the Ronald Reagan speech. what happens if there was an outside alien threat? We would see how small our differences are. We would put that aside. We would all band together to fight this outside threat. This is where he get that from, man. All right. Verse 33 again. And when all the people hear his voice, every man shall in their own land leave the battle they have one against another, because they're going to be an outside threat. Wait a minute. We fighting over this little small piece of land and shit. They finna be coming trying to take the planet over, man, and take us into captivity. Hold up. We got to band together. Right? Verse 34. An innumerable multitude shall be gathered together, as thou saw them willing to come and overcome him by fighting. So the nations are going to band together to try to fight the Lord. Right? Jumping back up to verse 31. And one shall undertake the fight against another, one city against another, one place against another, one people against another. All right, and that's in World War III. And then it's going to end with this, what we just read, and one realm against another. So this is when they're going to be fighting, the angels is going to be fighting against, these devils. All right, we could probably grab that too to close out with. Matter of fact, let me grab that first and then come back. Revelation 12 and 7, and there was a war in heaven. All right, now this war in heaven is not talking about in the spiritual heaven where the devil and God got into a fight and the devil got kicked out of heaven. This is talking about in the where the planes fly. You're going to see like we were reading about, all right, them and their air force and their space force fighting against Yahushua and his armies in the skies, man, in chariots, right? There's actually going to be a fight with them. It says, and there was a war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels. And the dragon and his angels is talking about what? The Esau and his military, Space Force, Air Force, all these different things like that, man. All right. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels was cast out with him. So he was cast up off of the throne of rulership, man. All right, he was brought up off of that high mountain. But this is where, the Lord is going to fight. He's going to fight against the Lord, and the Lord is going to take him out. All right. And let's close out with this, 2 Esdras 13 and 11. All right, and this is just going into the point, of in the midst of the battle of, going into, they didn't shot down a chariot, they got some this, bruh. We're gonna read about what these chariots is capable of doing as far as the weaponry on board, man. And you don't have nothing that's gonna be able to stop this, right? It says, and they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude. I gotta read another verse. Verse 9. We'll just start from verse 8. And after this I beheld, and lo, they all which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet durst fight. This is going into the AI. This is why they're coming out with what is it? The Su-75, I think it is. The Russian, the newest Russian plane that they got, the what they call Checkmate, and China got one too. These planes is they can be flown by AI. Right? And the F-35, the newest version of that, they hadn't even perfected that. The new F-35s is trash. But nevertheless, they have these new AI fighter jets. And the reason that they have these AI fighter jets is for this here reason alone. They were so afraid. Some of these guys, they going to want to turn around. Fuck that. We ain't fighting again. We going home, bro. You see certain things in certain scenarios where certain things happen, like even on a lower scale, man, a police or a security guard in the store, something like that, some shit start popping off. There's a mass shooting going on. The security guard like, bro, they pay me $8.75. I ain't got no gun. It's a part-time job. I'm going home. Fuck that. This shit ain't got shit to do with me. I'm going home, right? Some people just walk the fuck up out of that. Now, imagine you being in the military. You see some shit just appear. Like you flying and all of a sudden this big-ass chariot just appear out of nowhere. And you shoot like in Independence Day, right? That first shot that they shoot at the chariot is basically a nuclear bomb they shoot at it. It's like, well, all right, we shot one nuclear bomb at it. That shit didn't even penetrate the the force field. Their strongest weapon just became rendered obsolete. What the fuck you think the pilots is gonna be feeling like at that point in time? Like, oh shit, our strongest weapon don't even phase this shit. So what do we do at this point? That they gonna be so afraid. But the Lord said they durst fight. Hey, they got that AI and all that stuff. Hey, all right, we could take over y'all. Y'all ain't leaving the battle. Y'all got to go and fight this. All right. It says, and lo, he saw the violence of the multitude that came up. He neither lifted up hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war. But only as I saw as he sent out of his mouth as had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempest, and they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude that was prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived, only dust and the smell of smoke. And when I saw this, I was afraid. So we just read about how there was going to be a war in heaven with Michael and his angels against the devil and his angels, right? Now we reading here how, look, but it ain't going to be like how you think it's going to be, where they're going to be struggling to fight, and, you know, at the end, the Lord's going to barely prevail after losing so many chariots. No, it's going to be a goddamn slaughterhouse out here, man. The Lord going to have to put the spirit on these humans to come on with it, man. Nah, y'all can't leave. Nah, hell no. I'm going to commandeer your shit. Come on with it. Engage. Yeah, no, engage. Start engage. Hey, and then he going to just zap their ass, man. Now, if you want to get a visual of that, there's that movie with Tom Cruise, The War of the Worlds. You got those tripods that come up out of the ground, but they had those laser beams, right? That how do you call it? You know, a laser is basically how do you say, like compressed or confined energy, light. All right, which is heat, right? Which is them laser beams, man. All right, but in that movie, you seen how the people was running and they got hit with those laser beams, and the shit was so precise, and it just turned the people into dust and the smell of smoke, and their clothes fell off, man. It didn't even hurt; it just burned them up, right? Or in 9/11, you seen how them buildings collapsed and all that metal, steel, wires, wood, all the shit all the contents of that damn building turned into nothing but dust and the smell of smoke. People was running as those buildings was falling. Guess what? They was all covered in dust and the smell of smoke. This is what it's going to be like when Esau tried to fight up against the Lord, man. So forget the propaganda. They got some crash UFOs. They got some alien bodies or some angels. That shit ain't not true. Twofold, because first of all, we're reading about what the Lord finna do to you, and when the Lord gonna do this to you, when they gonna start actually fighting. All right, and second of all, with all your little struggles and your fight against the that you got on the earth right now with your wars, you're trying to fight in Russia and win in Ukraine, and you losing allies and you losing dominance, you losing power and all this. Hey, America could have a whole nother 100 years up on top again. No questions asked if all they did was put out the damn receipts. Hey, here goes some alien motherfuckers. We didn't shot them down. Look, he dead in the motherfucker right here. Here go his little bitch ass spacecraft. We didn't engineer this shit. We got these shits now, right? We taking them down. Now we flying a spacecraft. What nation on the face of the earth is going to challenge you at that point in time, man? Now we seen how the nations reacted when you dropped an atomic bomb on Nagasaki and Hiroshima. How much more is this right now? America will have it for another 100 years, but that's not the case here, man. All right, so as the scripture says, we're not ignorant of Satan's devices. I'm going to go ahead and close out with that. Lord willing, the elect was edified with this here lesson. Until next time, I say, call halal, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim, Rakakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders, the great millstone that taught us this truth and never will. And salutation and much love for your IQ pushing this truth and sincerity over the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. Until next time, I say, stay strong and shalom.